Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 264 of the Massenomics podcast. We are the lifting podcast about nothing. We are easily in the top 5 of lifting podcasts out of Western Northeast South Dakota, as I read on a billboard one time. Mm-hmm. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy. Tanner, does it feel like we're just hopping right back in the saddle here?
Yep. Feels like it hasn't been long since we started recording a podcast episode. So this is 264. We've got a guest planned for today.
We've got a guest.
We've got all kinds of stuff.
We got some
cans.
We got cans. We got maybe a few laughs involved if we're lucky. Some mild entertainment.
If we don't laugh once this entire episode, I'm going to say it. We failed.
Then we're back to the old days.
Yes. Like training, and I feel like it's important to train. And, just try to
For
get
people that don't
stronger.
know, Tanner is quoting himself from like episode 2 that we just discovered recently.
Sell paper and paper-related products. Okay. But first, our sponsors of today's episode. And of course, first, Spudding Straps. The goal of Spudding Straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-ink-straps.com. This show is also brought to you by The Strength Co. The Strength Co. makes premium made-in-America barbell equipment, including their machined and E-coated plates. These plates are functional, easy to handle, accurate, and made to last a lifetime, and they just look cool. The Strength Co. plates have become the go-to choice for all members at Massenomics Gym. Get their plates and all the other made-in-America equipment online at thestrengthco.com. That's thestrengthco.com. And the show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home of the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper. And they're always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using our discount code with them. It's MASS20 at checkout, MASS20. And this episode is brought to you by our most recent, newest sponsor, Fusion Sports Performance Supplements. Do you know what's in your supplements? If you use Fusion Sports Performance, you always will. Fusion SP prides itself on being fully transparent, never using proprietary blends, and always providing its customers with top quality products. Every Fusion Sports Performance product comes fully backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to fusionsp.net and use code MASS, M-A-S-S, to save a huge 20% on your order. Huge. And this episode is brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Way back in 1980, Buddy Cap set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was birthed. It was strong as a house with the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, bench press, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more, visit them at texaspowerbars.com. Thank you, sponsors.
Thank you.
There's the sponsors for the show.
Where to start, Tanner? Where to start?
I know what we need to do first.
What?
It feels like we're low right now. We're not high enough. We're at, I don't know where we are relative to sea level exactly right now.
See,
but I know where we need to get to.
I almost want to stop you from going any farther there. I almost want to stop you because we're going to go somewhere later. We're going to go on a trip later. I'm going to stop you for a second.
So I don't do that shtick yet.
Just stop it. Just don't go anywhere.
That one.
Don't take me anywhere. I want to stay right here. Stop making me go there. I want to stay in this chair and not move.
I don't like that place.
We're not going to go anywhere right now, Tanner. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, maybe we should go to Flavortown.
Maybe we could go to Flavortown. Also, let's go to Flavortown.
Okay. Is this a can segment?
This is a can segment.
You know what I must do then?
Yes, I was going to remind you, do not forget to put on the official Flavortown blindfold.
This makes it very legitimate.
It does. So Tanner is putting on the official Massenomics blindfold. available.
What did someone make a meme of me where they made it look like when I'm wearing this blindfold, it was some character? I didn't know the
I don't
character.
know. You know what I just thought of? Someone should make a meme of that show Bird Box where what's her name has to have a blindfold on the whole time.
I haven't seen that either.
Oh,
so.
it was not good. It's on Netflix. God,
Yeah.
what is that? What is her name called? Not Julia Roberts. Why can't I think of her name?
Meg Ryan.
No. Okay.
Jenna Fisher.
No.
Should I just keep naming?
No.
female
Quit.
actresses?
No. Just stop saying
that.
people's names. Let's get this name. Bird Box. Okay. Tell me the cast. And it is Sandra Bullock. There we go. It's her, and she has she has to have a blindfold on the whole time.
Oh, that's why they call it Blindside.
Exactly. Yes. We could make memes about you with that. You're now on her body, Tanner, wearing this. But anyways, we are going to get to a can. Oh, I got the can right here, Tanner. Crispy, cool, refreshing.
And this blindfold really works. This is not Cedric Ceballos in the 1980 whatever slam dunk contest where he puts a blindfold on and I'm pretty sure he can still see through it. This blindfold is legitimate. I don't know. I barely even know how to bring this can to my mouth. Have you ever seen that before where Cedric Ceballos dunks in the
I don't think I have
contest?
actually.
Yeah, blindfolded. Look it up. And he starts from like 3/4 court away. I'm like,
really?
How? You would never know. You couldn't do that. You would end up just running into the stand.
Even if you knew your exact steps.
Right.
I mean, you would still.
And he jumps perfectly and just dunks it like it, you know. And I'm like, no, I don't believe that blindfold.
I don't think I buy that one.
Okay. This is almost like restricting my nose, though, a little bit. Maybe that's why I thought the last one didn't have much of a flavor.
That could be it.
Oh, we are going to Flavor Town, aren't we?
Oh, baby.
That is flavorful. Let me try it again. I have no idea what the flavor is, but the blindfold, I'm not lying, makes it way harder. Much harder, and I don't know why. Oh, gosh. I do not know what those flavors are. Let me try one more time. Well, it is flavorful. Let me start by saying that.
There is a flavor there. You can confirm
Yeah, it's
that.
strong. I just don't know what the flavors are. I think because I'm feeling like this is a mix of two flavors. Like maybe it's like two. They're kind of it tastes fruity to me.
Okay.
And I think it's like
I don't know if you've really narrowed anything down there.
what I'm thinking is it's two strong fruit flavors that are competing with each other. And that's what's making me not be able to determine
And
what
they're
the flavor
becoming
is.
inverted on each other?
And I was inverted and blind. I don't even know that this is in the right ballpark, but because it is two flavors that I know go together, I'm going to say strawberry banana.
Well, Tanner, I think you should take a look.
Okay, I have to take the blindfold off.
Yep, you do have to take the blindfold off.
Oh, it's blue. That's not a good sign for strawberry banana, is it? Now that I know it's blue, I still don't, I'm not like, oh, yes, it's blue.
Well,
it's
let's say there's a twist here.
blueberry or... Oh, it's peach.
Yeah.
It does taste like peach.
Yep.
Yeah.
So these Tanner are ugly.
Yeah, what the hell is this actually though?
This was I've had a few people, more specifically our friend Alex at Kind of Fit, Kind of Fat, recommend these to me.
Okay.
The first time he recommended them to me, I went online. They were sold out of all of their flavors. I think they're online only. You couldn't get any flavors. They were all sold out. He reminded me again somewhat recently, and I did see some ads too. So I said, you know what? I will get those.
Okay.
I hopped on, got them ordered. They're pretty dang good.
It is very peachy. I don't know why I couldn't figure that out, to tell you the honest truth.
Do we have any important messages on your phone there, Tanner?
Yeah, I did. It's we'll be able to continue as usual, but
Okay. Crisis averted.
yeah, I do need to respond to this one real quickly though. But so this is ugly though.
Yeah, ugly.
See, the blue would have just thrown me off had I seen that at all anyways.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I enjoy it. Ugly drinks, peach flavor. I think I would give this.
Yeah, what do you give it?
I think I would give it 4 JD Powers.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm in that range. I like peach as a, it's not as good as a peach O.
Yeah.
But not much is.
It's not a pamplemousse, but let's be honest here, right?
So as long as we're talking about beverages, have you seen maybe this isn't a recent thing, but to me noticing it is fairly recent. A lot of people have been sending me these, that in sparkling waters, a lot of the companies are starting to come out with versions that are caffeinated.
I have noticed that, actually.
And
I have.
those are not going to be a great option for us on this podcast.
Nope.
Please don't surprise me with
Yeah,
those.
yeah,
Unless we're like recording.
Former Massenomics member Grayson actually just sent me one this past week, and I said, I saw those in the store. We can't do them. We record like at 9 o'clock at night on a Wednesday. And
that would keep me up.
Oh,
too.
yeah. I said my Thursday would just be a terrible day.
Right.
On top of my Wednesday night being awful, too.
I do think those are a good idea.
I do.
Though.
Yeah, it does make sense. It does make sense.
I like a lot of times before I work out, I'll drink coffee or something like that. That is something else I could drink before, or like on a road trip when you get something at the gas station. And especially, I think they don't have a ton of caffeine, right?
Because it's like your options are like
350 milligrams.
Destroy me, like absolutely wreck me, or maybe there coffee. I don't know.
Right, because if it has like 30, 40 milligrams of caffeine in it, so that's kind of up my alley, really. I'm like, oh yeah,
a more tolerable.
I can
amount.
drink that while I'm driving 2 hours, and then it'll just help me stay awake for a little while.
Yeah, I think it's a good spot for those things to be in, for those beverages to be in. It's another angle for them. I like it.
Yes.
Okay, we have a little bit of follow-up from last week, Tanner, about more stats about the Tanners and Tommies of
yes, we
powerlifting,
do.
I believe,
we
don't
do. We definitely do. So Big Luke.
This is our third week of follow-up now, Tanner, I believe.
That's right. Like, I wonder how long we can keep this particular thing rolling. Big Luke, who he had originally provided us the statistics on duration of podcast episodes.
Yep.
And I can't remember what Big Luke says he does by trade, but it's certainly something related to statistics or mathematics, or he's just very interested in it. Because he did a little digging.
He owns a calculator for sure.
Yeah, he definitely owns a calculator. He created something. I sent you that in the email.
It was I forgot
a
even
program,
what it was.
Basically that.
Yeah, I didn't know if he created that or if it's like a software that it like has some settings saved in it and it spits out kind of like a graph for you.
Yeah,
I didn't look at that part that.
But
closely,
it automatically is. All you have to do is put your name into it. And it pulls
pulls
all
the
your
whole
data
USAPL
from Open
database,
Powerlifting.
and it gives you like in a nice chart with comparisons. It was really impressive.
Yeah, the Open Powerlifting database and a really cool charts, and it's kind of hard to explain that. But he was actually talking about making that public, which
that would be
he should
really
talk
cool.
to the people at Open Powerlifting, because it's actually kind of a cool.
Yeah, I guess I didn't understand that it was ever. I thought literally it was like he just set that up for me and you, like. But
now you could put anyone's name in there.
Oh, really?
Now.
That's really impressive.
That's how he made it. So you put your name in there. So what you do is you put your name in there, and I suppose you could do this a number of ways, but what it does is it compares you against everyone. You put your name as it is in Open Powerlifting, and it compares you against everyone else that has that same first name in Open Powerlifting. But he did give me kind of a synopsis of some of what you'd find in there on our names. And your name is in there as
Thomas.
Thomas, yes.
There's a wild card under the name Thomas, and that happens to be a man by the name of Thomas Davis.
Yes.
That old TD Smash kind of throws the numbers off a little bit.
Especially on the bench press.
I figured that in a hurry when I clicked on bench. I'm like, whoa, who's so good at benching here?
It's like, yes, TD Smash. His name is Thomas.
Yep.
Okay. So he said, I have to read this in the right... I am in the top 5.4% of all Tanners when looking at raw totals. You are in the top 13.4% of all Thomases.
I didn't think I was that high even in there.
Is that how you'd spell Thomases? Thomases. Thomases.
Oh.
Yeah, is that what you would say?
Maybe.
Yeah, okay. You're in the top 13.4%. Your name is in there as Thomas, not Tommy. That was kind of the synopsis on that. So that's the what he gave me is just where we fit in the top. But you looked at it on there too. I also looked. I am the number one bench presser. I was going to say
that's the takeaway.
Yes.
You are the best tanner in the world at bench pressing.
Yes. So that at least in competition, raw.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I am the king of the idiots.
That's quite the title.
Yes. And then another thing you can do, and I had figured this out because I had looked at similar, tried to think of a way of finding some of this. Another thing you can do is you just type in your first name in open. You go to the main database, the home screen, and you filter it however you want to filter it by
openpowerlifting.org, you're saying.
Powerlifting, and you just type in Tanner, hit enter. It goes to the number one. If you're searching by total, hit enter. It goes to the number one Tanner by total. Hit enter again. It goes to number two. You go, I'm the 11th Tanner by total. You go.
Yeah,
like I hit it the 11th time, I pop up.
The manual way of doing it, but that makes sense.
Yeah, and you could filter it by anything. So like if you go to bench press as your main filter and type in Tanner and then just hit enter, I'll be the first one that pops up. But I did, so I'm in 11th in total, but there's a whole bunch of people not very far ahead of me, and I've got a meet coming up in the end of June where I compete raw, and I'm pretty sure I can crack the top 10 of Tanners.
Well, there you go.
Pretty sure I got a really good chance.
Got some goals to shoot for here. So then we can build the podcast as home of the strongest benching Tanner on the planet. Co-host Tanner Baird, the strongest benching Tanner on the planet, and a top 10 Tanner total.
It's so stupid.
Kind of brings it back to that meme we had for Open
just
Powerlifting.
like you just drill it down far enough.
Yeah, you can be the best at anything with the right criteria.
Yes, that's the criteria I needed. Is just looking at it, but based on all Tanners,
just through a certain lens, and it all worked.
It was cool that he did that, though.
Yeah, and well, I didn't realize that's how that little program that he had put together worked. Is that anyway? I thought it was just like we had to manually enter our name, and it was set up just for us.
No,
but yeah, that is really cool, and also kind of along the lines of meets and everything. The USAPL has some weird stuff going on with them and the IPF right now between drug testing and all of this stuff. Like a while ago, we probably would have talked about this a lot more on the podcast.
That's true.
Now it's almost just like, the
only reason I even probably saw something about it is because we're friends with Jonah Leo, and he is like the USAPL chair for South Dakota, I think, or whatever his title is. And I have him on Facebook, and he posted about it, and that's kind of when I saw about it. And it seemed like a big deal. I
think what it is that this should be like a segment of me poorly trying to explain things, and you would be like, I think that's. But I think what it is that the IPF is like mandating that all drug tests have to be to a WADA level,
a very high standard.
I think like you can't just have
very expensive standard.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem is that if you do drug tests, it has to be to this really, really expensive standard. Like whereas maybe you could get them done locally, and I don't know, maybe it was reasonably maybe it's $100 a drug test. Yeah. Well, now I think
it's going to be like $5,000 a drug test. It was something crazy that I saw.
And so the USAPL is a huge organization, and so they have all of these drug tests with all of these different, local, regional meets going on all the time, state meets.
Like when we do USAPL meets, they take up pretty reasonable random sampling of the lifters.
And I think the way I understand it, the whole issue here is that now they have to do these super intense drug tests that aren't financially feasible for all these little meets. So that basically means that all of these meets are not going to be drug tested anymore, which does seem really dumb. Like why it's the IPF. It's the IPF doing this,
but it's insane because you're like, right now, I think the USAPL is, as far as I think, it's a pretty well tested as far as drug testing goes. I think they're certainly trying to, and I think they certainly catch people, and
and a lot of people complain about meat director. We're lucky enough that in our area we have an awesome meat director, Jonah Leo. He runs an amazing meat, and the meat fees are worth every penny that you pay to him.
Right.
Other people are like, well, the USAPL makes so much money. They should do. And it's like I don't know. So.
People have to charge something to run meets and stuff.
Well,
like that.
I know. Yeah, it's I think everyone just assumes everyone's time is worth nothing.
Right.
Right. Some people have jobs and lives and things they got to do, and working for $3 an hour doesn't make things worth it.
It is so counterintuitive though, this drug testing thing, that we're like, no, we want our testing to be to the highest standard.
Yep. And if it can't be done to that standard, we're not doing it
at all.
We have to reel them all the way back.
So if that's what happens, it becomes untested.
Yeah.
It just makes it so any
Like if
Joe
that doesn't,
Schmo
if that
just be
like
like,
isn't shooting
"Oh, yeah."
yourself in the foot, I don't know what
Like,
is.
oh yeah,
right?
I'm not on anything. Prove it.
Yeah,
you know,
what are you
like-
gonna do about
Right,
it?
right.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
So
But that's stupid because then all of a sudden local meets do become like it does lose its credibility of being a tested federation.
I don't think like God, you would hope people that are on stuff aren't going to just be rushing into USAPL
Some people
meets,
will
but-
though. You
but
know,
there
there's
definitely
people
will
out
be
there that are like,
that just
oh
on
yeah, I'm going to
records
go.
that
Yeah,
bad,
like
yeah.
oh yeah.
It's like
I'm breaking that state
you
record.
You were the most annoying
Yeah.
person, and you kind of were gone, and you're the worst type of person, and now you don't really have anything to keep you away, and that's gonna really suck. So, Tanner, your phone is lighting up a lot over there.
That's right. We can keep rolling.
Okay. Are we sure we want to keep rolling here? Because I have a thing. I don't want to be interrupted during my thing here, Tanner.
So it's an important thing.
Can
Let's see. I didn't have anything else to high on my list, like anything, did I? We talked about the USAPL drug test, the OP Open Powerlifting rankings. No, I think we're good.
Okay. Well, Tanner, are you ready to go on a little trip?
I would love to.
You ready? You have your seatbelt on. Your
Click.
your belt is on. Your
Is this also? Can this be a seatbelt too?
it probably could be. Your seat back and tray are in the upright position.
Yes.
All right.
Or at least.
Do you feel that, Tanner?
I feel like I know where we're going.
I feel like we're seeing the world from 10,000 feet up right now.
Oh,
And
it does feel like we're up here.
for people that aren't familiar with it, we recently learned, looking back through some old episodes, that Tanner really likes being at the 10,000 foot view when he's surveying the world and the things around him. So we are now riding at 10,000 feet, Tanner.
Yeah.
It feels kind of good,
It's
doesn't it?
nice up here. The air's thinner.
It does feel nice. It's, you have the flight team taking care of you. Everything's going great.
Bashing into you with
Into
their
your
carts when
legs
they go by.
while you're not looking
Yeah.
around. So, Tanner.
Were you napping? Oh, not anymore.
So what we're gonna do here is what I did. This is gonna be the 10,000. We're gonna call the segment the 10,000 foot view with Tanner. Okay. So
I like it.
This is gonna be a segment.
I don't know what I really don't know what we're doing, but I just so far it's
So what I did here,
already a
because the
win.
10,000 foot view is all about kind of just, a high level. We don't need to go
You
into the
step
details.
back.
You step back.
and
You figure out what it's about, and
That is kind of the Massenomics podcast too, because we don't get into the fine details.
Yeah, we don't want
because
the
we don't really
nitty-gritty. Yeah.
know.
We
the
don't. We
detail.
don't have the ability
Right,
or the
right.
time to really get into the detail.
The 10,000 foot view makes a lot of sense.
It's where
for
we
us.
live. So what I did is there's a website. Have you ever heard of it called Quora? Quora.
That sounds familiar. I don't know.
You've
if
probably
I know
ran
what that
across
is.
it if
Yeah.
you Google something.
Okay.
It's just a website where people can go and ask questions about anything,
Okay.
and then so-called experts come in and answer the question for these people.
Okay.
I occasionally run across it when I'm typing in something on Google. I'm trying to figure out. Sometimes
Right.
it comes up as one of the top ones.
Is it a credible
A
thing?
decent amount. You read the answer and you're like, I think that's right. I don't know. Either way, this person has a lot of confidence in what they're saying here. But what I did is, you can type in anything. I typed in some general fitness questions and things, and
okay.
just found some fun questions that people are asking on the website.
Okay.
So some of these, like I see the answers in here too. There's a bunch of answers. A lot of the answers are just dumb and annoying and way too long. So we probably don't need to bother with other people's answers. But Tanner, we're going to let you give the 10,000 foot view answer on these people's questions. So
All right.
one more time, let's, there we go. Okay. And how about, all right, we're going to have Tanner answer a few questions for us here.
Can I get safe to unbuckle my seatbelt now and move
It
about
is
the
now-
cabin?
It is now safe to unbuckle your seatbelt while Tanner answers your questions.
You can go
So-
ruin the shitter for whoever's sitting back there.
Yeah, you can go.
Whatever poor son of a bitch is sitting next to that thing.
lines at the bathroom, doing whatever the hell you need to do in this
Can
airplane.
I get up yet? No, there's still 3 people standing there.
Okay, Tanner.
Smelling farts.
First question on the 10,000 foot view. I found this question on Quora. What do powerlifters do when they gain too much muscle?
So, am I answering what somebody said?
What would
or
your
am I
answer-
just saying?
No, what would your answer to that
Oh.
question be? If
Like-
someone's genuinely concerned about what do powerlifters do when they gain too much muscle, What would your answer to that person be? If this person showed up to the gym and asked you this question,
Like,
what would your answer be?
So you're saying someone did just get too bulky. Like all those people that didn't want to get too bulky.
It seems like this person is genuinely concerned that might be a problem.
Okay. Well, I guess I would go on a diet, like eat less protein and eat less calories, and then also train less, like do less hypertrophy style training, but mostly like eat less protein and eat less calories. If you were the person that accidentally got too bulky.
I think I would also say, to add to it, that has anyone ever actually gained too much muscle? Has that ever been a thing ever?
That's what I mean. This is apparently the one person that happened to, like, that, like, yeah. Oh no, I like, cause isn't that the old thing, like with women, like they're like, you don't want to get too bulky. Like, it's like, you don't accidentally, that doesn't happen accidentally to anyone ever.
Yeah. I think you're right there. Next question. How long would the strongest powerlifter in the world be able to last in a street fight against a lightweight MMA fighter? And the number of questions that people have about powerlifters and strongmen. So
these are all questions.
These are real questions that people asked online, and they get a surprising number of responses. Okay. But the number of questions that people want to know about how long a powerlifter or a strongman would survive, how they would do in a fight against a lightweight MMA person is shocking.
So that's the question. What is it? The strongest powerlifter?
How long would the strongest powerlifter in the world be able to last in a street fight against a lightweight MMA fighter?
Street fight.
It's a street fight against a lightweight. What's a lightweight MMA fighter? Like 130 pounds?
I don't know what the depth, but yeah, that's what I'm picturing. Like someone that's pretty small. Two things. Strongest powerlifter, I'm like going to think of two people. One is, if you want to say historically, it's Ed Cohn. And Ed Cohn also practices like self-defense training and fighting. And I've met Ed Cohn, and like he is not obviously he's not a weak man, but like he's not like a
I think his hands could just grab you, and first of all his hands are going to wrap around your entire arm and then just break it. And
also it's a street fight. It's not an MMA fight. Yeah. Although I see how there's a lot of crossover between MMA and if you're in a street fight. My answer, if it's Ed Cohn, it could last a good plenty while. Like, how long does any fight last? Also, like, I'm not necessarily betting against him in a street fight. Like, I think he kind of trained some of that stuff, and outweighing someone significantly doesn't hurt. So then the other person in the example is, okay, are we saying it's Dan Bell?
Yeah. So
Dan Bell weighs 400 pounds and is the strongest powerlifter
going and solid. Like, I don't know if you weigh 130 pounds, can you deliver a punch that will just catch Dan Bell off guard? Like, is that doable?
Right. There again with, now granted, Dan's not going to have outs, and Dan listens to the podcast, so it's fun because he's listening to this right now. He's probably having a chuckle about it right now. Although, he's not going to have outstanding stamina, but I don't think that's relevant in a street fight. Like, think it would be either. How many street fights go so long that's like,
how many street fights go really 5 rounds
here? Yeah.
You had me in the first 3 rounds, but my conditioning's really showing up now.
There again, I would give it a good watch. Like, as long as, I'm not confident who the winner is going to be in either case. Like, I do think if you're a top lightweight MMA fighter, you're probably an excellent fighter.
Yeah.
But like being 1/3 of someone's body weight.
It doesn't say top MMA. It just purely says against a lightweight MMA fighter.
Well, gosh, then there's so many people in the world that think they're MMA fighters, that I would almost say like I don't know who's going to win, although I don't discount like MMA training in a street fight is probably important, but also outweighing someone by 3 times is an important factor too.
Yes. So, okay, how long would they last? Probably a long time.
Yeah.
The one answer I did see, they posted a video of Conor McGregor kind of like half sparring with half Thor.
You're right.
And they're like, he's so huge, he can't really do anything to him,
Like, he's going to jump up and punch him in the chin. Like, I'm sure he could, like, but.
Yeah. So, okay. Next question, Tanner. 10,000-foot view. What bodybuilding supplements does Mike O'Hearn utilize in order to build the body he has accomplished?
So the question is, what bodybuilding supplements?
Does Michael Hearn
Why do
utilize
people phrasing these questions
in order to build the body he has? Which the phrasing in all these questions, like
Yeah,
these people
that's
are
like the
clearly
funny part.
don't
Like,
lift because
what bodybuilding supplements? Well, he probably uses. You know what the answer is? He uses supplements from Fusion Sports Performance.
well,
FSP.
he would know exactly what's in them if he did.
I mean, the real answer. Well, I think Mike still claims that he's a natural,
lifetime natty.
Lifetime natty. I would go on record. I really like Michael Hearn. I would say, first of all,
Yeah.
I don't believe that he's a lifetime natural. That's not saying anything revolutionary here. Like, I think it's very fair to say that that's not true. But I also don't care what he's saying about it. He's also was really cool from our experience, so I really like him. But he's taking steroids. But if you're talking about bodybuilding supplements, I'm sure he's taking a fair amount of supplements
probably
too.
has a lot,
I'm sure he uses whey protein isolate and probably creatine, and I'm sure he takes a number of like vitamins and like B12 complex vitamins and vitamin D and all that stuff too. I bet he takes a lot of bodybuilding. I bet Michael Hearn legitimately does take a lot of bodybuilding supplements.
I bet he does, but we can blame it on the creatine, I suppose.
Yeah, it's the creatine that got that look.
Okay. So
He
now-
is insane though. Like,
he
just
absolutely
posted
is.
something the other day where it's like 2 pictures from 20 years apart and he looks the same.
It is the same.
Yeah.
It is the same. All right. Next up, Tanner. Paul Anderson was a superhuman strongman.
Paul
Why
Anderson.
can't even today's steroid monsters beat his strength achievements?
Okay.
This question
this
has
does-
a bias in it, Tanner.
Yeah, this does go back to one of our YouTube comments that with Kaz.
This is a hot button topic in the on as far as Massenomics YouTube videos go. This is still one of our most popular comment threads.
So I do like the Paul Anderson stuff, and like I'm sure Paul Anderson was very strong, no doubt. Today's strongmen are stronger than what Paul Anderson was, and anyone that doesn't believe that is wrong. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fact, right?
Yeah.
Anyone that doesn't believe that is insane.
Yeah.
Like-
Was Paul Anderson probably the strongest person ever when he was alive? I think so.
Probably was, yeah.
It seems like he was so far ahead of anyone else.
I think it's
at
a
the time.
fact that I think it's very true that his things were embellished, and as they could be at that point in time. I think he would not be competitive if he were to jump into World's Strongest Man. That's maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he would be competitive, but he's certainly not stronger than the strongest.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Anyone that thinks that is insane.
Yeah, or just yeah. You got something wrong with your head.
Yeah.
Okay, Tanner. Final question on the 10,000 foot view here. Why do people like sparkling water?
Why do people like it? Because some beverages are over flavored and have too much sugar in them. Like sometimes you don't want you want something that's a little more subtle than you don't want to just drink a Mountain Dew, or maybe sometimes you don't even want a full strength Gatorade that has how many grams of sugar does it? Not that I drink those things and stuff like that,
Yeah,
but
you just want something maybe lighter on the sugar and lighter on the I don't know, or maybe lighter on the sugar, but also a little carbonation in there, too.
A little carbonation, and sometimes you don't want just a glass of water, but you want something. Because it feels like you're able to enjoy something like a beer or like a can of pop, but without some of the stuff that you might not always really want a beer or a can of pop, but you still want to have that experience. So you're able to have the experience without maybe some of the downsides that you don't always want.
Yeah.
I think there's a time and a place for all of those things, but this allows.
I mean, is there ever not a time and a place for a sparkling
No,
water?
I know, absolutely not.
Ugly
That's
water.
but that's why, and because they're spicy.
Okay. Well, Tanner, that 10,000 foot view.
So
from up
that's
there,
the game.
we
Yeah.
saw things pretty clearly.
Yeah.
Did you have something to add about the 10,000 foot view earlier? I think you were hinting at it.
No,
and I cut you off early in the episode.
No, I was just going to go through that just to take us up there, but we got up here now, and I don't know. It's just you can see it, so you can see things so much better from up here. You get the lay of the land, so
you're
to
just
speak.
cruising right along.
You can easily define western, northeast, South Dakota when you're up here on the map.
You can literally just
there's
see
the
it.
western, northeast.
It's so
South
flat
Dakota.
you can see the entire western northeast region.
That's it, really. It's just
Okay.
a good place to get to.
All right.
Get the full perspective of the podcast. We can see where we're going next. Like, I kind of know our next, now that we're at the 10,000 foot view, we kind of know what our next 5 steps are.
We
on
do.
this one.
Well, that was our
Oh, yeah.
first taste of the 10,000 foot view
Will
in
that
quite
be
a
a
while, Tanner.
recurring?
I think it very well could be.
Yeah.
I think it could be. All right. Should we hop into some sponsors here?
Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely.
Unless you had something else.
No, I just where does the time go?
Tanner, when you're cruising at jet speed
10,000 feet, things go fast.
They do go
That's
fast.
the best feeling, though, when you're on a flight and you're like, oh, this I didn't finish this movie
You're like,
yet.
oh God. How many beers have I had on this plane?
Keep the vodka shooters coming, lady.
Today's show is brought to you by Fusion Sports Performance Supplements. Do you know what's in your supplements? If you use Fusion Sports Performance, you always will. Fusion SP prides itself on being fully transparent, never using proprietary blends, and always providing its customers with top quality products. They offer 2 pre-workout options with Super Soldier pre-workout and Mad Titan High Stim pre-workout. Both have proven ingredients at their full clinical doses to maximize performance, increase muscular endurance, improve focus, and get you that much sought-after pump. Both are favorites among strength sport athletes. Healing Factor post-workout combines BCAAs with a full serving of creatine monohydrate and other great ingredients to help maximize your efforts in the gym, build muscle, and recover fast. Fusion's whey protein isolate not only tastes great, it also has 27 grams of protein per scoop, 0 fat, and low carb or no options depending on the flavor. It doesn't contain any soy or gluten, and it won't cause any stomach discomfort. Available in vanilla ice cream, chocolate fudge, and frosted cinnamon roll flavors. Most orders are shipped within 1 business day, and every Fusion Sports Performance product comes fully backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to fusionsp.net and use code MASS to save a huge 20% on your order.
People have already been using the discount code.
They have been using it, Tanner. I like to think of it as a massive 20% savings.
Yeah, it's massive. You'd be a buffoon not to use our discount code and say 20%.
It's practically free supplements.
It is almost.
And
you can't afford not to go buy these supplements.
And if there's anything I learned at my
code.
first Arnold, it's people will go insane for free or cheap supplements.
That's true. People will literally waste like days of their lives for free samples.
So hop on over to fusionsp.net, use code MASS, M-A-S-S, save a massive 20% on your order. Today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid-70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, Massenomics, world, and bench press powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit TexasPowerBars.com. The Massenomics podcast is also brought to you by The Strength Co. The Strength Co. operates starting strength affiliate gyms out of Southern California. They have a staff of experienced starting strength coaches that know the best way to develop strength through the barbell movements. Grant, the owner of The Strength Co., is a Marine, and he is passionate about obtaining quality American products and labor for all aspects of his business. The Strength Co. makes premium, made-in-America barbell equipment, including their machined and E-coated plates. These plates are functional, easy to handle, accurate, and made to last a lifetime. The Strength Co. plates have become the go-to choice for all members at Massenomics Gym. Check out their plates and their other made-in-America equipment online at thestrengthco.com. That's thestrengthco.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Since 2004, Lifting Large has been providing lifters across the world with powerlifting gear from Titan Support Systems. Lifting Large has the largest in-stock supply on Titan wrist and knee wraps in the world. Home of the Ground Lock deadlift slipper, they are always in stock and always ready to ship. They also have competition combo racks that are ready to go too. They're the only powerlifting supplier with live chat support available during the weekdays, and you can get email replies to your questions in hours, not days like some of the other guys. They are now accepting Amazon Pay and Stripe for a quick and simple checkout, and once your checkout is complete, your order will ship fast with same-day shipping on most orders. Massenomics customers can use code MASS20, that's MASS20, to get 20% off Lifting Large branded products and also receive an additional 50 rewards points added to your Lifting Large account. Place your orders at liftinglarge.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at liftinglarge.com. That's at liftinglarge, DOTCOM. And last but definitely not least, this podcast is brought to you by SPUD Inc. and the Cold War Puller. From Russia with love, the SPUD Inc. team has brought you a new way to do an old exercise using our Ukrainian deadlift rig. Ukrainian deadlifts are a great way to build your deadlift and squat at the same time. The SPUD Inc. Ukrainian deadlift rig is designed to be home gym friendly with an extra long loading strap with an attachment point at 12 inches and at 20 inches, so you can stack weights to the ceiling if you want or pull from a super low position with the short attachment point. The Ukrainian deadlift rig comes with a 20-inch straight bar handle with a rotating center attachment point to make it more versatile and difficult. You can stand on plyo boxes, bumpers, blocks, or more to do this primal movement. Check out the SPUD Inc. Cold War Puller at spud-inc-straps.com. Thank you to our sponsors.
Oh, hell yeah. One note of correction from last week's episode that I did actually realize this, and then a few people, I think every Kansas City Chiefs fan in the world made sure to message me that we talked about Texas Tech, and I made the comment like, yeah, none of those quarterbacks really panned out to be good, which was true for quite a while.
Yeah.
But then there was Patrick Mahomes.
There's always one.
Yeah,
Tanner.
I guess he's not the rule, he's the exception to the rule.
But
so yes, Patrick Mahomes is good.
It's a good thing people are keeping you straight on that.
Just so everyone knows, I don't think Patrick Mahomes sucks. He's probably pretty good. Now, should we get our guest on the line?
Let's do it.
All right. Hopefully.
There's always that hopefully part.
Well, I'll be damned.
Hello, is this Big James?
This is Big James. So I'm sitting here wondering who got booted off the podcast to make room for me, or who bailed on you guys.
That would never be the case, James.
Yeah, that says a lot about how you think about us.
Well, all I know, this is how I think about you guys. I'm sitting here refreshing my phone, taking me back to a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. The wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm refreshing the podcast." She's like, "They're calling you, you idiot." I'm like, "Oh, God."
Yeah, that's
First comment.
Do you think you'll get first YouTube comment on your own episode?
And would that be a conflict of interest?
That's true. You have insider knowledge at this point, having been on the episode.
So here's how I think that's going to go down. I think I have to back out of some first comment races just to keep the unpaid interns in line, because people would just stop listening. I think. I think they'd just be so mad they wouldn't even fight for it. They'd just be like, you know what, he's going to get it this time.
That's true. It's like you almost have to make sure you still have people to compete against. You have to let them win on occasion.
You can't hold the all-time record forever.
You do have the all-time. I think you have a couple things. Probably the longest streak of first comments ever, and then
think that's safe to
the
assume.
most first comments ever.
I think those are both safe to assume.
Well, I don't like to put that out there or anything, but I did happen to count just before you guys called. We're sitting at about 40. In fact, we're sitting at exactly 40. It was 37 the other day, and I think we've added 3. Now that one is controversial, where it was a 3-way tie. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that was in fact a 3-way tie, but we'll just say 40.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else has 10.
I don't.
I'm sure Scants has got Brandon Amos.
Well,
I think there's a few guys that I don't want to push them out, because
about 10, I would say that they've got. It's really a race for second at this point.
Well, so since we have mathematicians of the podcast,
how does
I really
median
think
and mode fit into this?
Well, so I've had a few things going on lately, so I'm a little behind on the podcast.
Okay.
I hate to say that, but
Okay.
I'm literally listening to, well, I just started last week's, so I'm about halfway through that.
Oh, you're
But
not.
as I'm listening to it,
Yeah.
I'm hearing the mathematician comment. I'm thinking, wait a minute, let me just Google this real quick. Or not Google, but let me open powerlifting this real quick. And I said, let me see where Tanner is. Tanner truly the king of Tanners? And there is one person that I found that's got a 2100 total named Tanner. So I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
that's because I think yours is like 15. Is it 1542? Am I?
I think it's about I think it's like 1598 or something. I'm not sure.
We'll just say 1700. you know,
Yeah,
we'll-
yeah. That sounds better.
Modest
It's
round up.
raw. No rap.
No, you didn't hear.
We
this.
did
Yeah.
just discuss right before we called
Yeah.
you. We had even more follow up on that. We
Yeah.
did discover though Tanner does have the biggest competition bench press of a Tanner of all time.
So you should be proud of me for that, at least.
Absolutely. That's the only lift that matters. Isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
Exactly.
I'm going to eventually. All I have to do is beat Thomas Davis, and then I will also have the largest Thomas bench press. So I'm on my way.
well, you have my full support on that. I don't think it's going to take a while, but I'm used to road to 700 taking a while, so
Yeah,
I'm okay with it taking 999 weeks or whatever it is.
yeah.
Do you have the biggest total? Do you have the biggest total of all James's?
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm sure you have the biggest.
Oh, you know what?
bench of it.
Actually, you know what? I think I do. I mean, because again, I don't calculate all this stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm like top 16 of all time or something. I don't know.
What? Yeah, right. What's the Henderson? Who's the big bencher? Henderson is his last name. I think he benched 700, didn't he? Is it? but I
He
can't-
benched 700. I don't know what his squat and deadlift were,
Right.
but
He's
I would
not a
I would
total
feel
specialist,
pretty
perhaps.
safe to say that he didn't go 777
Right.
like in the
yeah.
meets.
Yeah.
Or if he did, it's only 21. Not
But
say
is
only,
his
that's
name?
a really
Is
big
his
number.
name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is his name James or what? Is it James Henderson or is that?
I think it's just James Henderson. Yeah.
Yeah. James Henderson. Yeah. So you have.
I don't know.
There's
There
at least
could be
one
some
good
competition there.
competition. Yeah. Right.
Well, and I might just change my name. It's close enough to Julius.
There you go.
There can't be any other Juliuses out there that have a big bench, is there?
Well, not a big total. Come on, Julius. Let's go,
That's
buddy.
True. That's
Let's
true.
go.
That's-
You can't just be a bench only guy. I've proven that, right?
No, I think we all know that you are a total specialist.
Yeah, it's total everything, total chaos.
So what are your how has your training been going? It seems like it's been going really well.
Well, there's two sides to it. What I'm putting out on Instagram and what I'm actually doing. So it's, there's a few select
Yep.
people that know. And I'm sure, well, I don't know if this podcast is
So this is going to come out
coming out after this weekend.
Yes,
so there
it
might be
is.
something.
Yes.
Okay.
So this will come out
Sunday
night,
yeah.
Sunday night, Monday morning. Yes.
Well, let's just go ahead and spill the beans.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
let's
it
just-
should be okay too then, right? Because
Yeah.
All right.
So technically, it's
So-
only a spoiler for me
Yeah.
and Tanner.
yeah. And
Well,
we already kind of know. So nobody's getting. Yeah. This timing is perfect. Actually, I think.
All right. Well, so here's kind of just a real quick rundown. I took some time off after the showdown because I ended up I had what I thought was a pretty major. I thought I tore my pec, and it wasn't torn. An MRI confirmed it. It was literally just a bad strain that I had made worse by bruising it, like with one of those percussion massage guns. And so I did it on like a 650 last bench before the meet, hoping to go in there and do something north of that at least, and in a full meet, and go for 2,200 plus. And that kind of just fell apart with a couple of little nagging things that happened. I'm not really injury prone, but I had strained a groin on a squat, so that kind of put my squat in a predicament. And then I was like, well, this would be a push pull. Well, then my bench went out, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll go pull 800. We'll just put everything in that basket. And so I went up to Kansas City, thinking I had a torn pec, thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to do a big deadlift and token squat, token bench, and just call it a day. And ended up not really getting a lot out of that meet, and kind of just making the decision I was going to take about the rest of 2020 off, just just hang out in the gym, have fun, just not really push anything and allow myself to completely heal, take care of stuff. We bought a house, Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that stuff, that having a family just, kind of puts a burden on training in a good way, but, just it allowed me to really focus on life versus lifting, but it also allowed me to reset. When I came back, I started up training in a more of a hypertrophy phase, January 1st, I believe it was 3rd or something. And I'm about 4 or 5 weeks in and just having fun with it. I was, of course, my high rep range is 400s, 500, ish. And so there was a meet locally, or not a meet, but it was a meet. It was a kind of unofficial meet that was going on at a local gym. And the guys all know who I am. And they're like, you should really do this. They're paying out, $500,000 for first place, and you don't even have to try. I'm thinking, yeah, right. There's going to be somebody in there that's
someone's going to
going
show
balls
up.
to the wall.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm going to end up pushing myself when I shouldn't be, in an off-season training. And at last minute, literally, I did my bench day, which was like, I don't know, I think it was 475 for set of 10 or somewhere in there. And that was on a Monday. On the Saturday, I made the decision, like on a Friday, fine, I'll show up, token squat, token, bench, and just kind of go maybe 75% and hope for, a first place and $500 or whatever.
Yep.
Ended up going in, and I think I got second, but it was on Wilkes. So it wasn't a total by any means, but I still totaled like 1900, which I was like, I'm not even in shape right now. And I thought, this is actually kind of a good thing to try. And just see where I'm at off season. Didn't want to hurt myself or anything, but I ended up benching like 585. So I was like, well, at least I know, even on like what I would consider my out of shape season, I guess, I can still almost do 600, which is, for me, that used to be a pipe dream.
Right.
Well, the next week I was like, I'm going to take a deload, because I knew my coach was going to be like, hey, I know you don't normally take chances like this. It's another conversation you have where you go off program. And it was like, I'm going to take a deload, just be smart. Next thing I know, I'm doing 501 for 8, which was like a PR for me. Like 2 days after I benched 585, squatted 650 or somewhere in there, and deadlift 700. And I'm like, where is this energy coming from? Like, I'm normally like a 10-day deload before a meet, taking 2 weeks off to recover, and then, slowly get back into it. And here I am, just youthful again. And I'm like, okay, I got a little bit of, spunk behind me. And next thing I know, I'm hitting another PR and another PR. And I'm like, I'm 8 weeks into training here, and I'm already in the 600s for reps. And I'm thinking, this is when I normally start peaking. So I talked to my coach, and he goes, I think you need to find a meet. And I went, for when? Like, this is weird. Like, I've never progressed this fast. And, no injuries, of course. And he goes, well, I mean, I would think within the next 8 weeks. I'm like, hold on. So I'm wrapping my head around this, because I'm like, this is really fast. So it ends up being this Saturday coming up that I picked a meet that's it's actually like it's a bench press only meet, which is perfect because I'm not training squat and deadlift right now. I haven't touched legs in any higher capacity other than that meet. And I was training, I forgot when that meet was, but it's like right at the beginning of the year. And so I haven't squatted anything, nothing, like not even a pound, and haven't deadlifted a pound since that meet. So all my energy's gone into bench. And so I hit, these are probably the most notable lifts that I've hit, that I have posted, which is like a 636 for 2 PR, 656 self lift off, no spot PR, which I was pretty happy with, considering both of those lifts were about 5 pounds more than my previous PRs, or more. And those PRs were done on training cycles that led up to the 672.
Yep.
So I haven't hit those kind of numbers in a few years. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to get my hopes up, because that's what I've been doing the last couple training cycles, is rushing things and really just saying, okay, 700, 700, 700. And so this training cycle is more like just go in and improve each week, just a little bit. And if I don't feel it, just don't go in, or don't, back off, take an extra few days. And basically, I think we're in PR territory for a meet this weekend. So we'll see. We'll see. Don't want to jinx myself.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, the videos that we've seen, at least that you posted on Instagram, like your bench is looking really good right now.
There's a few, like, I'm very critical about technique and like pausing and things like that. But I have to agree, like, and normally I wouldn't. Like, normally I'm very like, no, I don't feel good about it. I do feel really, really good about it right now. But the other side of me is, well, I don't want to, again, get my hopes up and think, basically, just long story short, what I'm thinking about trying to do is not shooting for 700 literally at this meet, unless it's just a really good day. Well, obviously, but just inching my PR up,
right?
Even even a kilo, just a little bit, because I'm 40 now.
Just some momentum though is awesome to have,
right?
Yeah. So, and then I can, go into this meet healthy, get out of this meet healthy. And if I have momentum, I can do another meet in a few weeks and just see what happens. Because I really don't feel like I'm fully peaked and I'm doing a meet, which is weird.
Do you have any plan? So, you were at the showdown last year. Do you have any plans later 2021 of any meets that you would be doing, like that showdown one, for example, or anything like around that time period?
Not on the books yet, but I am definitely wanting to do another full power as soon as I can.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm sure it'll be, I think the showdown might be full, but I would hope that if I'm in the 2,300 range raw, that I might be able to say, hey.
Yeah, I would feel like you'd be like, yeah, we might be able to make a spot for you.
Well, and the other thing is, I don't know. And of course, this is a whole nother, people say this all the time. Well, I could add 100 pounds to my squat in no time. But, my squat is not and my deadlift really, they're not anywhere near where I think, like, my bench is, to add 20 pounds or 50 pounds is like, huge. From my squat and my deadlift, I could add 100 pounds to the total. And it's not like, oh, that's an unheard of total. It's not going to be an all-time record or anything like that. So, I think that's more achievable to add, 200 pounds, maybe not this year, but that would take me up to almost 2,400,
right? Which
is a crazy number, but
yeah,
it's not, I don't think it's inconceivable for me to do that.
Right. Do you think the secret, like, that things are going well right now, does it have anything to do with the green shorts that you have, or?
I'm actually wearing those right now. I had them on. So it's a little bit chilly in Houston. Of course, it's not chilly as you guys. I don't know what in the world.
We got a snowstorm.
It actually, I work in my basement, and I'm looking at my phone the other day and seeing pictures of like videos of snow, and I'm like, I think people are posting these from a while ago. And then I just saw enough of them, like, this can't be all old. And I went upstairs, and sure enough, there was a lot of snow on the ground. And I was very confused. Today, it's all gone, and it's a nice day.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I'm thinking, okay, it's almost May. What is going on? Like, I know Houston is a whole nother animal. Like, we got a little bit of snow this year, which was crazy. And it was that one day or 2 or 3 days. And now it's like 80 degrees outside. So today was a little bit of a cold snap. So it was like a little chilly. So I put on sweatpants, but I still had a t-shirt on.
Yeah.
I got out of my sweatpants and I got home because I'm like, I'm not wearing sweatpants around the house. And I put on the breaking parallel shorts. And then I got a text a few minutes later. Hey, guy, just want to let you know that somebody got booted off and you're coming on.
It's funny about the snow. I remember when we were at the Arnold, I guess it was probably the last year we went to the Arnold, and it wasn't at the Arnold. We were out on, like, I don't know, one of the main, maybe that same road. I can't remember.
When we were out there playing with the family.
Yeah. You had your family out there,
right
and it was snowing a little bit, and it's like, for your kids, like they don't see snow all that often, probably. So it's more of it was probably
cool
pretty
exciting for them,
right?
Oh, well, so I think it was the year before that. The first time they came up with me,
Okay.
we drove to Cleveland, or we drove from Cleveland to Columbus because it was a cheaper flight or something. And so when we drove back, we didn't see snow the whole time. When we got back to Cleveland, we drove past like a Motel 6 or something, and there was snow all over the ground. I thought, this is a pretty good spot. Let's pull over. We started playing in the snow randomly. Of course, people were looking out the windows like,
what are these guys doing?
what is going on? And of course, it was all packed down. It's like a couple days old, so it wasn't even fun to play. We were like throwing ice at each other.
Yeah. Brown.
And of course, we got in the car. Our hands were like beet red because we don't have gloves or anything. We don't come equipped. So, but it was fun. The kids love it.
Yeah, that's good stuff. What do you think, as someone that benches a whole bunch yourself, what do you think we could see Julius do someday? Like, what do you think his upper limit of how much he could bench press could be?
That's a good question. Because people have asked me that, 2 years ago, and I thought 800 is just
right.
That's not conceivable. That's like somebody deadlifting 1500 raw.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, that's what I would have thought too.
Yeah, and I think honestly, I've had talks with him, and I don't even think that was on his radar. It's just like, that's a good number, but when you start doing things, you find out, wow, this is crazy that the human body's capable of this, or select human beings are capable of this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Because what
I don't think it'd be crazy to think 850. I really don't know.
Yeah,
but that sounds so crazy to actually say that. I don't think that sounds crazy.
Well, let's just put it like this. I humble myself on this one. Julius, or people used to comment like when Julius was like 740, and they'd be like, "Hey, he's benching your deadlift." As soon as he benched the 782, I went, son of a bitch. That's my deadlift. That's my meat. That's my meat PR. I'm like, God dang it. I got to up my deadlift now just to keep him away from it.
Yeah, but and you're saying that as a dude that's has a is a very large total and is really strong. Like, that's way more than most people's deadlift. There's not a lot.
I think 750 plus is what I would consider a very, very elite deadlift. I mean, when I did my 780 and I thought, okay, that's good for me, I still need more to go. I had several people that I've continued to look up to, but I've out totaled, and they're like, no, you don't understand. Like, that's not common. Like, there's a few people, obviously. There's the deadlift specialists and things like that, but that's not a common number, even at the highest level. And I thought, wow, that's kind of crazy. And this guy's benching it. So, yeah.
Old Julius.
So I would say 850 is if he can stay healthy and keep things going, keep the momentum. I think it's conceivable. And if he doesn't do it, he's opening a can of worms for somebody sometime. I don't know if it's now, but there's some crazy freak of nature, even better than Julius out there somewhere. And he might not even be born yet, but somebody's bound. I mean, they're meant to be broken. And it's just crazy to know that could be
just someday. It probably just such a specific person, like a 1 in a billion type person.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, it's not even like we've had a huge stride in technology or training methods. I mean, Julius is using same training methods I am, and that people were using 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more, but not enough to make up 100 pounds. So it's not like, it's not inconceivable to think in 10 years, there might be a new training method that allows you to do something more, recovery, or maybe a supplement. I don't know. I mean, growth hormone that just does some crazy thing to your body where you can train 6 days a week. I don't know. But I'm talking about raw. I mean, just literally what he's doing now. I think it's possible to do 850.
Yeah, it is wild.
Yeah.
So when we started talking, we really didn't, because we didn't have to here. We don't have to provide really an introduction because
we did kind of skip that part, didn't we?
But Tommy and I talked about it before we started recording. It's like, I think everyone that listens to Massenomics already, like, if someone's a Massenomics fan, they know very well about, like, I can't imagine.
Yeah, we said it both ways. That, like, if you know Massenomics and you don't know Swim Hack, that's really weird. And also, if you follow Swim Hack and you've never seen or heard of Massenomics, that's really weird too.
Yeah, that would be a very strange It's very strange too. Like, would you feel the same on that?
I think the two are probably synonymous.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not uncommon for me to be wearing something because I don't have anything else. I mean, ultimately, I don't have any other. No, that's really not a joke. So we're packing, obviously to go to Chicago for the meet. That's where the meet is on Saturday, and the wife is saying, hey, what do you want to pack? Kind of getting things ready. I'm like, well, I'll get all my stuff. I'll probably have a couple of, I'll have a Skull Smash shirt. And of course, I'll have all my lift gear, and I'll have a couple of Ghost shirts. And it's like, well, you going to take anything that's dressy? I'm like, maybe the Breaking Parallel shorts. I don't know. I mean, they're expensive. I mean, I can walk into any steakhouse
and extremely
at any level,
rare.
And people will just go, "My God, it's just trophy case."
Yeah, your table's waiting in the back, sir.
That is the one. Like,
here's your LaCroix. I'm like, I don't want that. Get that out of here. I want the pop moves.
Where do you remember where you first came across anything Massenomics? Like, did we reach out to you for something, or did you just randomly stumble?
I think it was when we talked to you at the Arnold, probably.
Oh,
wasn't
I
it?
bet that was it.
Yeah, at that restaurant.
It's
that
hard.
first year.
It was when Ross went and talked to.
Yeah, I want to say I had been exposed to it, but I didn't know what, like, obviously didn't know any of the inside jokes.
Right.
I don't know if I listened to anything. I'd probably seen a couple of posts and I was like, okay, yeah, this is kind of cool. And didn't really, and of course, literally fast forward a week. And that's when I probably, after I saw one of the posts, I'm getting, Ross coming over and talking to me. I'm like, oh, hey, wow. Okay. Whoa, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
These guys are something big. I need to talk to these guys. I don't need to be saying no to these. It's like if Ed Cohen came over, he had no idea who he was, which is funny because that was me when I first got started in powerlifting. Somebody goes, oh yeah, such and such. I'm like, Ed who?
Yeah.
And of course they were like, are you joking? He's literally the Michael Jordan of this sport. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go talk to him. I don't want to be disrespectful.
Right.
So same thing.
It is a funny story though, and I know we probably told it before, but that was the first year we ever went to the Arnold, right? Before,
we went
before
just
we
as basically spectators.
Yeah, and we were at that one bar and restaurant like during the day. This was at like lunchtime.
I think it was like the middle of the afternoon actually, because it was pretty slow in there.
Right, and we went in there, and you were sitting we had a table in there, and you were sitting at the bar, and
what was that place called?
Yeah, it's the one just pretty much across from the convention center. I can't think of what it is.
Right. Yeah, and I remember being like, "Holy shit! Look at like seeing you from the back, and like I mean, you talk about training your back and stuff in your lifting pulse a lot, but at the time being like, holy shit, look at that guy!" And then like I think Ross went up and talked to you and something in there. And
I think Ross like, oh that's swim bag. He can bench like 600 pounds. I think I gotta go talk to him.
Yep, I remember that. Yep.
And now look at where we are.
Yeah, the next thing you know, you have green shorts on.
Time will tell. It's just only 5 more years. Where are we going to be at?
Oh man, what color shorts could we have by then?
Green pants, maybe.
I can't even wait to see the evolution of shorts that we have by then. Do you
we got to do something to take care of Austin. I don't know. We got something. I mean, maybe I'll just send him a picture. It's autographed.
Yeah, you should do that. Actually,
I think that'll suffice. Actually, you know what? I was thinking about maybe just raffling these off. Like, hey, these have been worn. If you guys y'all can't wash them though. Don't be weird.
Worn. We've got something. I think we'll figure something out for him. One of these days. Just a sticker. There we go. We sent him a sticker.
Yeah.
We'd make the
green breaking parallel.
Like the lift short sticker. Only we make the green breaking parallel short sticker.
But we can do. You can charge $27.99, $28.99 for the sticker.
Yeah. For just a sticker.
We could make it one of those big car stickers so you can put it on your car.
Well, no, what we do is we put it on the site. And it's really misleading. So like it's $28.99, and like it's like, oh, the breaking parallel shorts. And then sticker is really, like really small.
The fine print.
Right.
Site,
it's like, this is actually
you can order them. It's small, extra small, medium. And then when they get the sticker, it's a small sticker.
You pick the size of sticker you want to order.
So be like, no, sorry, sir, you did not read the fine print. I feel like we could, there's enough people that are in on the Massenomics jokes that some people would be pissed, but some people would be like, "Ha, you got me." I feel like this is all worth it. Like this is better
They'd
than
be
if
on
it
the
was,
site in 10 minutes ordering more.
This is better than if I had actually got the real shorts that I wanted.
So I've come to the conclusion that you guys have created the perfect business model for the fitness industry. It's like you don't even have to really give anybody anything. You just take their money and they're happy with it. It's a perfect plan. Like there's no overhead. It's just you have some, of course. You want to post up pictures and videos of you guys having the hats. I don't want to mention the hats, of course, but
You didn't get my message to specifically avoid the hats.
Well, okay, so don't buy the hats.
Yeah,
Do not go to Massenomics.com right now when you're hearing my voice and buy any hats whatsoever.
Please.
Especially those jackasses that are ordering like 4 at a time.
Yeah, 4 hats at a time. Like
and don't tag me in that story of your picture of the hat that you just bought.
Definitely.
So that I can reshare it and shout you out. I don't want to do that.
Yes, don't do any of that. I'm gonna poop in the box for the next person that buys a hat.
That might actually, you could charge more for that. Yeah. People would pay it.
Instead of just farting into them, I'm gonna start pooping in them.
Premium service.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, what is this? South Dakota Air, man. What is going on?
No, it's
every time I order
these are hefty hats.
Yeah, I fart in them, and then I try to tape them up really quick, like after the fart.
Lock that air in there
to make sure they get the full dose.
Well, you get some Mexican food from down here, and you don't even need just keep them going.
Yeah. So your body weight wise, are you? I mean, I see you've been eating a lot and stuff. Are you heaviest? Is close to as heavy as you've been before then, or?
So I've been 312 is the heaviest I ever have been. That was like a training cycle ago. Honestly, I think most of it's just water, but like actual what I would call usable weight is probably never been more than like 305, like meaning I was pretty lean and I felt good. I was, occasionally, these last few weeks after the weekend, I'll wake up at like 307, but after my bench day, I mean, I lose 10 pounds just because of all the calories and the sweating and just crazy, the day is just a long day. And of course the weights that I've been handling, it just takes a lot out of me. So it takes me like 7 days to bounce back. So my weight will basically start at like 307 ish. And then by Friday, I might be back up to like 303. And then so I start the weekend, just start pounding food just to make sure I'm recovered and I feel like I've got enough calories in me to last. And then it's like a recycle. Yep. But like today I'm sitting at like, I woke up this morning at like 300. So I'm like, here we go again. Yeah, I didn't even work out this week. I did some like light stuff on Tuesday just to get some blood flow, but I haven't been eating a lot just because I don't need to. So that's kind of the ebb and flow for me, at least, is I never really go into a meet like with a full stomach. Like I'm not for the whole week, I'm not pounding food, but my normal, like all you can eat sushi for lunch. See what we have for dinner. I don't even remember. Oh, I had like a big chicken fried steak smothered in queso and hot sauce and everything. But I'm sure I'll wake up like maybe 301 tomorrow morning. So by the time the meet comes around, I'm not going to be much more than right at where I'm at now. And I'm not even going to think about cutting or anything like that.
Yeah. How sweet is all that Go Strong equipment that you've got in your gym?
Oh, so it's not uncommon for me to literally go out there 3 times a day and just look at it. And just like literally just
the once over and
just look at, check on it, wipe it down. Seriously, I mean, it sounds funny, but it's a pride issue. It's like, those are masterpieces of.
That's what they are.
It kind of actually ruins lifting almost though, because everything else you just feel like, well, this sucks compared to this now. Like everything else is a downgrade forever. Right?
So maybe we could follow up with this, but I'm kind of dreading going to the meet. I'm like, I don't want to bench on this shit. What is this crap? This is horrible. Sir, this is the best equipment in the No, it's not. You know what? Ghost, come on in here. This is rinky dink. It's like it's welded. It's one piece, and it's like, no, this is too shaky for me.
That is what it's like. We've got the Go Strong HD combo, I think is what it's called, or whatever it is.
Yep.
And Boy, as far as a combo rack, I don't think anyone's ever going to get anything better.
And even now, like we have 2 really nice elite FTS benches,
Right.
and we have the Rogue, full power rack too. But still, it's just the Ghost bench is just so far above that other stuff.
It's kind of like having. I like to compare it to a Bugatti. So maybe we can say like the elite FTS and the great company. It's like a Buick LeSabre. It's just
American classic,
stands the test
tried
of
and
time,
true.
but it's just not
like
the
it's
same.
like a 2003 silver Buick LeSabre.
Yes,
It has to be silver.
It's got
Yes,
the 3.8 GM motor in it. It's reliable. It'll last a lifetime.
Yep.
Like,
Parts are readily available.
Yeah, right.
Not
right.
that you would ever need them because it's not going to break down.
Right. But it's not the Bugatti.
no. Well, and the other thing is the difference between a Bugatti and the Ghost equipment is it doesn't take a lot of maintenance. So it's not like your oil change
right.
You don't
or
have
changing out a
right.
piece is going to cost you
Yeah.
$20,000 or anything.
Right. That's true.
Just 15.
It's
No.
funny. Didn't we do this Ghost Strong bench comparison? We did. Tommy and I just did like this. Was that on a podcast episode or was that in the YouTube video that we shot where we talked about the Ghost Strong bench and we were like comparing it, like, because you said like this is the Ferrari. I think you said this is the Ferrari of benches, and then we took that back and like, well, really, that's not an accurate enough analogy. Of, like it's.
That might be a video we have sitting aside.
That's something we haven't released yet. I think, but we kind of had that same conversation too.
It's no doubt though. Like I've benched on some. Well, we've had this conversation literally the first time we ever talked at the Arnold. In the interview, you said you've been known for benching on some pretty shitty benches.
Right.
And 600 plus pounds, and so I'll bench on whatever. I mean, I'll bench on a wooden table if I need to, as long as I feel safe. For the most part, that's kind of relative. But I've had to bail a couple times on this Ghost rack. And I didn't even question it. Like I was alone with the garage closed, alone at home. Nobody's even at home. So I of course trust it, and it'll hold. I was asking them the other day, like, what do you think the upper limit of these safety arms are? He goes, more than you'll ever put on a bar. And I went, okay. Like more than a bar could fit. And I'm like, well, that's 2,000 plus pounds.
So
like,
you should be safe for the most part.
Well, I like to do those heavy lockouts.
Right.
Like, those are a lot for the Instagram, clout. It's like, hey guys, I can't bench 800, but let me put 950 pounds on here and lock it out. Just
you might need to get some pound plates for that though, because that, the kilogram plates for the grams,
they just
sometimes
don't quite have that same showiness.
Right.
Well, so. And Ghost has already let this out, so I'm not letting anything out of the bag, but they have the new kilo plates.
Yep.
I've got a shipment coming in, and it's like, well, don't send it this week because I'm not going to be here to get them, and I don't want that stuff sitting on my porch. Yeah. It's not like anybody's going to steal it. But
I don't think you have to worry about someone just
you're
swiping those.
You're going to have too many plates then.
Well, so that's my problem. It's like, well, I got a really nice tree, but I'm going to have to throw some of these plates on the ground. Those road plates are going to have to sit on the ground.
They're probably disposable, like a lot of our stuff is. You can just throw them in the garbage.
I was thinking about that, but I don't know if I have enough garbage space.
Here,
just leave it on the curb. Free pickup.
Yeah, a curb or a dumpster somewhere. Just throw them. No one will want those.
Well, and so I was like, y'all are going to ship this like via like a shipping service, not like USPS or UPS, FedEx. Because I've seen the delivery guy. Like, he's a bigger guy. I mean, in fact, I've no hate to him, but he works out at the local gym that I go to. But he can't pick up 50 kilogram plates.
Right.
I mean, he can't rack his own weights.
Yeah. Yes.
So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's Ghost is an excellent company. I like what they stand for, but just the quality. It's like, I look at the welds, I look at just everything about it. It's the attention to detail is spot on.
Yep, for sure. James, I don't know if you're familiar with it at all.
Actually, James, can you say something maybe like really inspirational and profound for us for a moment?
Oh, yikes. Like, inspiration.
Just something really touching for us, just give us something really heavy here.
Oh yeah, like something deep. Like, it doesn't
give me something
just
deep
like
to just. It doesn't have to be long. Just give us something really deep here for a second.
Yeah, like just something not funny at all. Just like
a really deep, serious statement.
Something that we can transition out of.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm going to be the cliche powerlifter here and be the dumb idiot and then have like no idea what I need to say here. Massenomics.
Okay. That reminds us, we have this little game we like to play. It's called Underrated or Overrated. Have you ever heard of it?
Overrated.
No, that's all. We're just doing our thing where somebody says something real serious, and then we go. Tommy goes,
Wow.
Tommy goes, wow, and I go, okay, James, that's great. Should we play Overrated, Underrated? Like, so
I missed that one.
Oh no,
it's past my bedtime.
Yeah.
It is getting late. It is getting.
We have.
In fact,
there's
just,
so many
just
inside jokes.
Somebody commented the other day and said, "Why are you always Massenomics gears? What are those? Are those your sons?" And I'm thinking,
I saw that. Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That
Like,
was actually.
hold on, how old do
I
you
saw
think
that.
I am? Like, I realize I'm 40.
I missed
Yeah.
that.
But
That
we're
is-
in our
like 30
30s.
something. That means I had him when I was 10. What?
your son. That's really funny. That's really funny.
I did like.
I didn't see
saw,
that.
I'm pretty sure I went and liked that.
That's
Whoever
really
that was,
good.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Wow.
No, but that is a good point. There's become so many inside jokes that sometimes we almost don't even understand some of them.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't even know where that one came
Yeah,
from. It wasn't from us.
But yeah, there was one that was
So-
someone. Well, that was the worst day of my life. Wow. Okay.
So I've
Would you
got
like to play a game?
So I've got like a little thing that's a little secret that I have. I have a little notepad on my phone and I keep all the inside jokes that I can
That's-
use so that I don't miss on any of them because I'm like, okay, I need to be able to like, when you guys post up something, I need to be able to have something to reference.
Right.
Because there's hundreds of them, and some of them are really old,
Yeah.
but they're gold.
And if you have a good comment on it or something, like the people that know them are just gonna love it.
Oh, yeah,
like they just eat it up,
Yeah.
like they're just
Well,
like.
and
oh,
if
yeah.
you say something that nobody else says and it's profound,
Yeah.
you get your comment. You get your comment pinned,
Yeah.
and then you can like it.
and then you get all the likes.
And you like your own comment.
Yep. That's the secret to success. But are you familiar with Overrated, Underrated?
I am familiar.
Okay, it's this little thing we like to play. You get your druthers, etc., etc. Okay.
Yes.
Tanner, he does need
And-
to understand that these topics are handpicked for him.
Oh yeah, these are special Swim Hack James Strickland topics, handpicked for you. You do have your druthers. The most important thing to remember is you do have to, at the end, you can't ride the line. You have to come up with overrated or underrated at the very end.
Tanner,
I will try my very best.
I might have an audible in this.
Oh, go
one
ahead.
somewhere,
Okay,
so-
good. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So save your. You know what? You just do your thing. I might throw. I might throw something
Yep.
here.
Yep. Overrated or underrated? Sushi.
Ooh. Hold on, let me get some sushi here real quick. Sushi is underrated. Now that's the right answer for me. I know how this works. You guys. It's underrated. People do not understand the value of sushi, especially at an all-you-can-eat place. Oh, it's underrated. Hands down. There's no other.
Did not know there was such a thing as all-you-could-eat sushi until your posts.
I was very questionable about that type of all-you-can-eat raw fish. It took me 2 years. This place opened, and I went, nope. I'll pay $60-$70. I'm not going to do it all the time. I have to afford lift shorts.
Exactly.
I'm like, I'll all right. Somebody told me about it and they said, you got to try it. I'm like, are you sure? Because if I get food poisoning, I'm coming back to you. And I went in there. Next thing I know, we're there like every week. And then next thing I know, they're like, hey, can you make a couple posts for us? We'll feed you. And I'm like, why didn't you say so?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now I get a meal or two taken care of a week, and hopefully they're getting some business.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's
So what
sushi
does it
definitely
cost?
underrated.
What does an all-you-can-eat sushi buffet cost?
Well, there's a lot of different types, and so like, when I say types, because I've been to a few different ones around Houston and around like the Texas area. In fact, they've got one, I want to say in Columbus. Yeah, it's right down the street from the convention. It wasn't that good though.
Okay.
And I guess my standard's probably a little higher, but most of them are about $30 for all you can eat. This one that I go to for lunch, it is limited, but what I get, I eat it. It's fine for me.
Yeah.
It's like $17 all you can.
Damn, that's really cheap for a.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And I get my money's worth for sure. Well,
yeah.
I know how restaurants work. They're making money, but
Yeah.
of course they take care of my meal, but I still, somebody goes in there after me and pays for it. They're not going to eat
Right.
$17
right.
worth of wholesale fish or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So what did you say? It's underrated.
Underrated.
Okay,
Underrated.
Okay, overrated or underrated? Self lift off bench pressing.
All right. Let me calculate this up like a mathematician here.
Crunch the numbers, do the math.
So let's go through. How many self lift offs do we see? Not very many, especially in a meet, which I think we're on par. Just a little side note here for this meet being a self lift off meet, because I've been training that way.
You're right.
And I will have Ed Cohen there, by the way. So he said he'd come out and help me out anyway. So I may just have him stand behind me and do a little, like my wife did for my self lift off. It was like, I'm going to help you out, but I'm not really touching the bar, just to give you a little mental help.
Yep.
Self lift offs, I'm going to go with overrated, because it does take energy away from you. But if you do them the right way, you can still, I think it's more of a mental thing.
Right.
You're forced to get it. And you're forced to get yourself tight.
Yeah.
But it doesn't carry over to getting a lift off, because that will throw you out of the race. But in fact, I've done that in a meet where I did self lift offs, and I had a buddy of mine lift off, and I missed like my opener. I'm like, what is going on? And another guy from the gym goes, you've been doing lift offs on your own. Just do the next one on your own. I nailed the second and third attempt.
Right.
Self lift offs. I was like, okay, well, there you go.
That's a good.
But I would say
good point too.
Overrated.
Yeah, that's a good point though. That that if you're used to doing them all the time, and then you throw a spotter in there to give you a lift off like that,
it's really obvious in the gym when you get used to doing them, and you do have someone come in and they take way too much of the weight, and you pretty much lose all your tightness instantly.
Yes.
So that's kind of leading back. There was a few, like, I didn't have perfect lifts this whole training cycle. Of course, I don't know anybody that does. And I had a lift off for one of my lifts that was getting heavy. Like when we started getting north of 630, I was like, hey, I need somebody to come help me, come to my home gym, because I don't want to go to a shitty bench. I want to lift on my own stuff. Had a couple friends come over and had one lift off for me, and I didn't have a very good day that day. And I realized right away it was because I got a lift off. I'm like, yeah, I don't need any more lift offs for the rest of this training cycle. I'm just going to ride it through. But I think, overall, for the question, overrated, because it's just not, I think it's self-explanatory. It's overrated.
Yeah. Okay. Did you have an audible on this?
Should I do my audible now?
Yeah, I think unless you think it's because it's whether it's
I can go right now.
Okay.
Overrated or underrated? The butterfly stroke.
Oh, nice.
So it would take a swimmer to know this. And anybody that's listening, the swim hack name does imply that I was a swimmer at some point in time.
I thought it was just because you knew you could bring a phone in a pool with a bag. I thought that's sort of that's what it was about.
Well, that is a swim hack, but not
literal
the swim hack.
Right.
The biggest swim hack of all time is taking a skinny 180-pound man that can barely bench 300 and zooming him up to 300 to bench close to 700. That's a swim hack.
That's the swim hack.
That is the swim hack.
Okay, butterfly stroke. It is difficult. It's like, honestly, I'm trying to compare it to lifting, and that's tough because swimming is just swimming, but it is the most difficult stroke. It takes the most energy. If your technique is off at all, which mine was always off, because I was just, even though I was 180 pounds, I was bigger than everybody else, and I was always more muscular and a little stiffer. And so my butterfly was never like a snake. Like you're supposed to really slither kind of through the water, and you have a dolphin kick that goes with every stroke. And I was always like pull with all my might, all muscle to get my arms out. And then it was like, boom, like a whale.
Yeah.
And I was fast for the smaller distances because I could spend a lot of energy and be done. If I had to go anything over like 4 laps, which would be like 100 meters or 100 yards, anything like a 200, I would just die the second half because I wouldn't have the endurance to keep muscling through it. But if you're good at it, you're normally really good at it. Like Michael Phelps. Let's just name drop here.
Never heard of
He
him.
was no, I don't know. He lied about his calories. Don't tell me you eat 12,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
We all know that's not real, but everybody
Right.
bought it.
Yeah, that's true.
So with that said, most people aren't going to do it. Like every swimmer that I know hates it unless they're really good at it. So it's kind of like bench. They hate it if they're not good at it.
Right.
So if they're good at it, they typically like it. Can I pull any druthers in for this one?
You've got all the druthers you need. You can phone a druther's lifeline if you need to.
Everybody's sleeping right now. Hey, buddy, I'm just going to let you know you're on the Massenomics podcast. Oh, what? Hey, man, I know we know each other from 20 years ago, but come on, you can help me out here. Overrated.
Okay.
Overrated on that.
All right.
Okay.
Overrated.
All right. Okay. And the last one is usually kind of worth all the marbles. Your performance on underrated, overrated all comes down to the last one. And actually your performance on the entire show rides on this last topic.
I heard if I get it all wrong, I have to ship back all the lift shorts.
Yes.
Yeah, and
with interest.
Yeah, we will send a repo
I
company.
can't. That's going to kill me.
Yeah.
That's going to put me
you
under.
You won't be coming back from that one.
No.
There's not a swim hack out there that's going to save you from that one.
All right, let's see if I can BS my way through this one.
Overrated or underrated? Breaking parallel shorts.
Oh, it's not even a question. They're overrated to anybody that doesn't have them.
Yes.
If you happen to have a pair, either they're legit or not. Let's not even question that.
Yeah.
They're definitely underrated because nobody has them. Nobody has them. Nobody can have an opinion about them.
So you're really the
Except-
only qualified opinion.
I'm the only qualified. So I could literally say anything and get it right. So I'm glad this was the last question because now I get to keep my lift shorts.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's how you druthers your druthers.
Yeah.
That's
druthers if I've ever seen them.
That's a perfect example of druthersing.
I've never bullshitted my way through another set of questions more in my life. I feel like I just did a multiple choice and just started scratching off.
Yeah, you're like C.
C, F, F, F. There's no F there. What is that? That's an E? What? It only goes to D. What are you talking?
All right. You passed. Did he pass?
He did pass in
Okay,
flying
great.
colors.
So great news. You did pass. What you did say at the beginning for a peek behind the curtain for anyone is I'd say like James and Dan Bell are on our short list of people that we know we can, at the drop of the hat, we could do a podcast with them because we just always can. We could just, we could sit around and BS with you guys.
We have a direct line to you that we know works.
Right, yeah, we have a direct line, and we know we could talk to you for an hour and not have to prepare for it, and it's going to be fun. And so when it comes to
you knew I was going to be on a deload this week, and I've got absolutely nothing to do.
And that's the thing. And we know, like, as long as either of you are actually around and like don't really have something else going on, you're like, oh yeah, I'll do that. That'll be fun. So we really can't schedule regular ones with either of you because we need to.
You're our lifeline.
When we have to have a lifeline, you and Dan are the first ones we look to.
See, I knew it. I knew it. As soon as you texted me, I'm like trying to tuck the kids into bed, and I'm like, why is Tanner texting me? I'm like, well, there's only one reason. One is he wants to get me on the podcast because somebody else bailed, or they have nobody and they have to have a slot. And the other thing was like, let's see, it's Wednesday right before the meet. I'm like, that would be perfect if it launched.
That's exactly that. I did have that thought when we were thinking about it. We're like, it actually is perfect timing because I know you were playing that one a little close to the chest, so to speak. But I'm like, actually, this works out pretty well because it comes out just at the right time.
Well, and I'll tell you, just to not stretch this too far, because I know y'all don't want to be at the 2-hour mark again.
We save that one for just really for like every 5 years we do that.
So one of the first times I was on the podcast, y'all mentioned about the trolls and how some of the weirdest comments and stuff come in.
Yeah.
And one of my strategies this time was to really just stick it to them. And just because there's a lot of people that are like, oh man, how long are you going to be on this road to 700 pounds? It's like, as long as it takes, that's what I'm doing. I'm lifting, I'm having fun with it, like in all seriousness, and it's not a small goal. And so I was like, you know what, instead of posting every lift as it happens, I know there's going to be a few bad lifts in here. And instead of posting these lifts and just getting this stupid hate, I'm going to post up all the good stuff and then wait for later to post the bad stuff. Be like, this is what the whole cycle looked like.
Yep.
But I wanted people that used to go, oh, you missed this lift, that means next week's going to suck, to be like, well, now what? And I haven't gotten any of those comments. And it's funny to play the other side of Instagram. It's to be like, to use it against itself, because everybody that was, that would say like, oh, well, you missed that, it's because this, that, and the other. Let me tell you, as my expert opinion, it's more like, oh yeah, I knew you were going to get it. It's like,
Yeah.
I have screenshots from 2 years ago
of
from
you saying the other. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And so I've kind of got a nice little YouTube video that I'm going to put out. And it's not to be hateful, because ultimately, I love the support, but there's always going to be negative. But I like to see the progression of people who were against you at one point in time just because they're just being negative. And then all of a sudden, hey man, I want to buy one of your programs. Hey man, It's like, absolutely, whatever, we can be cool. Yeah. But by the way, 2 years ago you were like, oh man, you suck. I'm like, yeah.
Well, the guy that thought the lift shorts were too expensive did eventually buy a pair. So it all comes full circle.
The world works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
That, and if you put enough pressure on Massenomics, the unpaid interns, of course, we don't want to talk about the unpaid interns. It's a tightly knit group.
Unpaid for a reason.
Yep.
Is there's some things that can happen if you just put enough pressure. It's just a word of advice. If you want it, you might get it.
Yep.
Conceive, believe, achieve.
Yes.
I think that's the saying.
Yes.
Kaz and us said it best.
Never give up, Austin. Never give up.
So you mentioned, we talked about some of your sponsors. We talked about Go Strong. You mentioned Skull Smash. Is there anyone else you wanted to get out there?
Let's see. Let me go through the list. Well, let me make sure I'm not missing anybody for sakes. I don't want to be that guy.
They'll be pissed at you.
Yes. My coach, Josh Bryant, I don't think he gets enough credit, because a lot of people are just like, oh, they assume I train myself. But Josh Bryant's been with me from before I broke 600. So I think,
we need to get him on the podcast at some point in time. That'd be a good one.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Little goofy, but I like it.
Yeah.
I don't like to be serious all the time. There's too many times to be serious.
Right.
But, so let's see, we got, so Massenomics, you guys always take care of me. So I'm going to shout you guys out.
I love those guys.
Those guys are the best.
Except that one guy, the one guy that wore the blindfold last week. That's weird.
Oh yeah, he showed up again this week.
Yeah, I've got a meme for you guys. I'm gonna send that to you.
We talked about some meme ideas
blindly from the 10,000 foot. This is your captain speaking.
Yes.
All right, so Texas Power Bars is always taking care of me with.
We're familiar.
Yep. Buddy Cabs, 1980, the year I was born.
Ooh.
Is that a coincidence?
Illuminati?
I don't think so.
A lot of stars here aligning.
Papa Buddy.
Yep.
Let's see. We'll Go Strong. Skull Smash Ammonia. They take care of me. Steve over there. Pretty much like from the beginning, I think. That's a whole nother sponsor story, where when I was in, just a wee lifter, I was like, hey, are you doing any sponsorships? I was that guy, just like everybody else kind of starts off. They ask for a sponsorship, and he goes, let me ask you a couple questions. And he wanted to know like what type of person I was. And he goes, I've already done my research on you. He goes, I just want to know what you'd say. He goes, yeah, I can send you a couple things. He goes, I don't have, a lot of money. It's not like I make millions of dollars with this. I went, sounds like Massenomics. But of course, just to give a little bit of a insight to people that are looking for sponsorships is, it's not going to be just, oh, I want a sponsorship. And you got to realize that there's 15,000 other people asking for the same thing. It's more like, okay, well, who are you as a person, and do you believe in their company? And you've got to show them that you care about them before they're going to care about you, especially if they don't even know who you are. So
I think that's pretty true too. Yeah. And like, that's something probably a lot of people are missing when it comes to that.
Yeah. They think they don't think of it as a relationship and more just a one-sided thing.
Right.
Let's just put it this way. I think you, as an athlete, you have a responsibility to your sponsor just as much as they do to you, but you, I think, should take the first initiative and promote the hell out of them and expect less. And I honestly think it's better. And in fact, if I had to go over and do it all over again, I wouldn't have emailed the bigger companies. I would have emailed the small startups, the smaller, because then you can grow with them.
Right.
And then it's better. Plus, then you know all the inside jokes. If you get in later, you got to play catch up and watch 265 episodes. No.
And big companies don't have room for inside jokes, No,
that's a
little company thing.
Too big, yeah. They can't do all the funny stuff.
And to let you guys know, I have actually listened to all the episodes.
Because
once I heard that, I went, I have to make sure I finish these, and I've got them all bookmarked. And so it's got the first comment, got the shorts, you got all the apparel, you got all listening to all the podcasts. I wouldn't say I'm the head of the interns, but I think I'm an honorary intern. I don't think I've been included in the internship, but I've kind of wiggled my way in there. I'm like, hey guys, what y'all doing?
Right. Yeah.
Well, like, I guess we got to get swim hack in here.
What was the video? What was it?
The commercial video.
Yeah, that we didn't know of that was coming. What was it? I'm forgetting. What was it about now?
You mean the one that they recorded before?
Well, yeah, the one that they all got together and we're all in the same video.
So they had already done most of the work, and then I want to say,
it was for the podcast. It was for the reviews. That's what.
It was Massenomicsreviews.com.
Yeah. Okay, that's what. Thanks, Massenomicsreviews.com. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, that was great.
So I wasn't even. I mean, that wasn't even my brainchild at all. Like I was just more like, hey, I kind of want to be a part of this group. What's going on? I want to be a part of the cool crowd. And
they're like, we got to get swim hack in then too. Yeah, that's perfect.
So
yeah, that's good stuff. No, that's great. I think that's we got to catch up with you. I'm sure we'll do it again. It won't be long.
I would definitely look forward to it. Maybe we can do it at the Arnold if they would actually have one.
We hope that's what happens. We do think we're probably going to go to the showdown this year too. So if you happen to, if that ends up being your thing this year, we'll see you at that too, hopefully.
I just want to make a run at, like, if I'm going to go, I want to make a run at John Hack. He seems to be the guy to go after. I'm like, I'm not even in the position for Wilkes right now. I'm like, I got to do something. So maybe I'll put a nice training cycle together and at the very least come and do something, something in the full power arena. Try to get out of this, shake this bench title.
Well, they don't call you a total specialist for no reason. All right. That's cool. Thanks, James.
Thanks,
you guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night.
All right.
Well,
what do you think, Tommy? What does he get?
Cool beans. Cool.
He got the cool beans.
He got them beans, and they were cold. We had the beans on ice for him just in case he earned them.
They were really on ice because they were waiting for someone. Someone needed those beans.
He got someone else's beans tonight. Someone else is going to be kicking themselves for not getting their beans. So now SwimHack got extra beans, and they were extra cold.
Extra serving of ice cold beans.
That lucky son of a bitch. Oh, what do we think?
Should we kind of mostly bring this one on home? I think that's everything.
Bring that down. We could take a look at our sponsors again from this episode. Do you want to do that?
I would love to.
As we begin our descent back down from 10,000 feet.
You mean like this?
Buckle back up, bitches. We're coming down. All right. Today's show was brought to you by SPUD Inc. The goal of SPUDing straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud.com. fusion-ink-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Fusion Sports Performance Supplements. Do you know what's in your supplements? If you use Fusion Sports Performance, you always will. Fusion SP prides itself on being fully transparent, never using proprietary blends, and always providing its customers with top quality products. Every Fusion Sports Performance product comes fully backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to fusionsp.net and use code MASS to save a huge, massive 20% on your order. That read is still throwing me off. It's pretty new yet, so it's like
I know
it's not like
quite
burned into my
memory.
brain. Yeah, no. But unlike this one, this episode is brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Kemp set out on his own to make what he believed would be the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free, and it was perfect for swim hack. Hundreds of state, national, international, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. Learn more and visit them at texaspowerbars.com. The show is also brought to you by The Strength Co. They make premium made-in-America barbell equipment, including but not limited to their machined and e-coated plates. These plates are functional, easy to handle, accurate, and made to last a lifetime. And they look really, really cool. They are
so
the coolest.
good.
They're the coolest looking machined plates that are out there. That's just a fact. The Strength Co plates have become the go-to choice for all members at Massenomics Gym. Check out their plates and all the other made in America equipment online at thestrengthco.com. That's thestrengthco.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home to the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper, and they're always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using our discount code MASS20 at checkout. We think they possibly moved locations.
It looks like it, yeah.
But that still doesn't affect their standard for customer service in the strength world. They still have set that. They still have the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper. They're still always in stock and ready to ship. So they're moving, but you can still expect all the other great things.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper of companies.
They really are.
All right. That's our sponsors. We'd love it if you would become a supporting member of the podcast.
Yeah.
That would just be awesome if you would do that. How would someone do that if they wanted to?
Massenomics.com/join.
And we do have the 4 tiers, the 4 membership levels. There's a Apple Pie membership level. That's 99 cents a month. The LaCroix level, that's $3 per month. The
Lift
Shorts level, that's $6 per month. And then the Platinum Lift, the Platinum Lift Club, that's $20 per month. All coming with their own, varying levels of awesome things that you get in return to be named at a later date.
Mm-hmm.
So please become a supporting member if you like the show. And if you like listening to it most weeks, we'd love to have you become a supporting member. And if you just came into a structured annuity or...
I couldn't think of a better investment vehicle than Massenomics.
How often are
supporting
people
members.
coming into structured settlements or annuities? Never.
It's got to be a lot.
Do you ever know any person ever that's been like, oh, I just got this structured settlement or annuity?
I've never known anyone, but I guess I don't really know that many people, or at least the people
That's
I know
true.
aren't that exciting apparently because they
That's
don't
true.
get structured annuities. So,
Right. But if you did get one, that would be a great way to spend it, at least a portion of
if
it
you ever got a
each month.
structured annuity, it'd be a great icebreaker for the rest of your life.
That's true. Be like, those commercials? Like, I got one of those. I didn't call JG Wentworth though, because why the fuck would I? But so yeah, become a supporting member. That would be cool. Leave us a review. Yeah, I didn't really read the reviews, did I then?
No, that's
Okay, well, I guess we'll save those for next time.
we'll save them for the next time.
Okay. Leave us a review so we could have more for you to read, or more, so you could provide more for us to read in the future episodes. We do read them all as they come in eventually. And then like us on YouTube and subscribe on there and ring the bell on YouTube. Race Swim Hack. Beat Swim Hack this week. If you're hearing this, it's too late.
The
Beat
next
Swim
week.
Hack next week.
Somewhere
Or
between
265.
5:30 and 6:30 p.m. Central Time.
And if you've never watched that podcast on YouTube, give it a try sometime.
Yeah.
Just try it and be like, see what you think. Like,
See-
maybe you'll dislike the experience. Maybe
Be
you'll like it
whoa,
more.
that's what those guys look like? My God.
Or we'd be like, whoa.
The amount of
that's
hair
what those-
there is significantly more than I would have ever guessed.
Why do they have so much hair?
Just the amount of hair is just appalling.
I know how long it's been since I've got a haircut, but I have no idea how long it's been since I trimmed my beard. And the other day, I'm like, gosh, how long has it been? And I haven't done it yet, but I have the perfect way to figure it out. We have a living video of ourselves every week of our life.
A weekly video.
So I'll be
log
able to
of
see like when did it get like short? When was it longer and then got shorter? And I'd be like, that's how long. Like
we were actually talking. We were going over some YouTube stuff the other day, Tanner, and I had the YouTube channel up, and I went back far enough and. Before we changed up our thumbnail style, it was just a picture of us sitting here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that half of the podcast looks way different than it used to.
Yes. Yes.
When I say that half, I mean your side. You specifically.
Yeah. Someday, I keep actually thinking about trimming I think I'm going to let the hair ride for quite a while here, but I am starting to feel like the beard is going to have. I cannot eat food without like hair, like my facial hair being in my mouth.
Yeah.
And it is just getting to the point of annoying. I don't dislike the look of it. Like I'm cool with that. It's just the
upkeep, the maintenance, the hassle.
Just like it being in my mouth, is not what you want.
I would
That's what she
struggle
said.
with that. Yeah.
Tommy, where do they find you on Instagram?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Baird, but just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.